They said a single person can't change a city, but this Filipino architect proved them all wrong. When everyone saw ruins, he saw a blueprint. When the streets were flooded and homes were gone, he didn't just rebuild walls, he rebuilt hope. His story isn't about fame or money, it's about vision, resilience, and love for his country. Picture a city torn apart by disaster. Buildings collapsed, dreams shattered, people losing everything overnight. Most would give up, but not him. He stood in the middle of the wreckage and said, "We're going to build again, and this time, it'll be stronger." Every morning, he walked through broken streets, sketchbook in hand, drawing not what he saw, but what could be. Children played near the rubble, watching him sketch. He told them, "This is your future city. You'll live here again." It wasn't easy. There was no funding at first, no big investors, just determination and a deep belief that Filipinos deserve better. People laughed at him, called his dream impossible, but he smiled and kept going because he knew real architects don't just design buildings, they design change. He started small. One street, one home, one school. He rallied volunteers, carpenters, engineers, even people who lost everything. "We'll build it together," he said. Brick by brick, hope returned. The walls rose higher, and so did the spirits of the people. The city began to transform. From dust to destiny. Foreigners began to visit and couldn't believe this was the same place they saw on the news years ago. Modern designs mixed with Filipino culture, bamboo structures stood beside glass towers, and the city shined like never before. He didn't just rebuild structures, he rebuilt identity. He made sure every design reflected Filipino pride. The curves of the roofs resembled waves. The open spaces invited air and community. The gardens grew native plants. His architecture wasn't just modern. It was Filipino at its heart. He said, "A true city breathes the soul of its people." Soon, his work gained attention. Universities invited him to speak. Governments asked for his advice. But he never forgot where he came from. Those streets, those families, those moments when he had nothing but hope. When asked how he stayed motivated, he said, "Because I saw the look in their eyes, people who thought their lives were over, and I wanted to prove that no one is too broken to rebuild." He used his success to train the next generation. Young architects from all over the Philippines came to learn from him. He told them, "Don't design to impress, design to uplift." And that became his legacy. Every blueprint he drew was a message to dreamers. You can turn pain into purpose. His city became a symbol of resilience. Tourists called it the Miracle City. But for him, it wasn't a miracle. It was the result of unity, hard work, and love. One evening, he stood on a rooftop overlooking the skyline he helped create. The golden sunset reflecting on glass buildings, laughter echoing from the streets below, and he whispered, "We did it." That night, he shared a message online that went viral across the Philippines. "We are not defined by what we lost, but by what we build after." His words became a movement. Students quoted him in essays. Artists painted murals of him. And across the country, communities started rebuilding too, inspired by the architect who refused to give up. He proved that greatness doesn't come from wealth or power. It comes from purpose. He didn't wait for opportunity. He created it. He didn't wait for heroes. He became one. His story reminds every Filipino that rebuilding isn't just about cities. It's about people, faith, and vision. When life knocks you down, rebuild. When no one believes in you, keep sketching your dream. Today, his city stands tall, a living masterpiece of courage and creativity. Visitors come from all over the world to see what hope looks like in concrete form. They ask, who designed this? And every time someone answers, a Filipino did. Hearts swell with pride. So if you're listening right now, let this story be your blueprint. Maybe your dreams were destroyed. Maybe your plans collapsed. But remember this, even ruins can rise again. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to start. Pick up your pen, your hammer, your idea, and build. Because like that architect, you can turn a broken story into a masterpiece. In the end, the Filipino architect didn't just rebuild a city. He rebuilt belief that no dream is too big, no failure too final, and no person too small to make history. The world may forget names, but it never forgets those who rebuild what was once lost. And somewhere out there, another young dreamer is watching his story and whispering, "If he did it, maybe I can too." So keep building, keep dreaming, and never underestimate what you can create when your heart refuses to quit. Because sometimes the greatest structures aren't made of steel and stone. They're built from courage, faith, and the unbreakable spirit of the Filipino.